In today's lesson, we're going to create a project folder, then create a 4-page website. Before we complete this 4-page website, we will be able to touch every necessary tools needed for web development. Tap on Create. Select Create Empty Project. I will call this one My Web. Tap on this menu to confirm your folder has been created. This is my folder named My Web. Currently, this folder is empty. Next thing we're going to do is to create a HTML file. The first one we're going to create will be index.html that will serve as our home page. On these 3 dots, tap it, select New File, and enter index.html. Make sure you don't have any mistake on your spelling. The extension must end with .html. Okay. Now if you click on this My Web, you will discover we'll have a file inside it. Tap on the page, then come inside your page. This is a blank HTML structure. Nothing is inside this page so far. We are going to start by adding the title. Come to the title and enter. I will call it my portfolio. Then after that, I will come inside the body section. The first thing I'm going to do is to create what we call a container that will contain everything we'll be writing in this page. So inside this page, I will type a div. It's a class container. Just type div. You will see the snippet. Choose it. This is a div. This is a div element. This div element, we are going to give it what we call class. To give it a class, come inside the div, do exactly what I'm doing here, type class, select it. Let's call the class container. So this container is where we're going to keep all our work. I will now come inside the container. The first thing we are going to create is our nav bar. You enter nav. You can pick it from the snippet. Now we have our nav, open and closing nav, is running inside the container. So in this nav, we want this our website to have a logo name and the menu. So for that reason, in this nav bar, I'm going to create 2 different divs inside this nav bar. Follow me carefully. I'm going to put 2 different divs. I'll put the first div. This is an empty div. Started here and ended here. Then I will give this first div, I'll give it a class also. Class, just as we did in the case of container, I'll give it a class of logo. This is an empty div with logo. I will also create another div after this div, another empty div. Div, and give this one class menu. Inside the div, give it a class name called menu. These are names we are giving. Right now, both our container nav, our 2 divs are all empty. If we refresh this page, you will not see anything apart from the title page. Now let's go to the browser to see what we have. I've got to the browser to refresh. It's an empty document showing only my portfolio, which is coming from the title section. Let's go back to the page to continue. The first thing I'm going to do is to use a name as our logo. So inside the div for logo, I will use h1 to create our logo. We have h1 element running inside the div with class name logo. Now let's check it out on the browser to see what we have. So now we have gotten our cosec, which is going to serve us as our logo. Let's go back again. Come to the menu. In this menu, we'll be using honored list, UL. Just type your UL, honored list, UL. If I scroll up, you will see it in the snippet. UL, click on it to create a UL element inside the menu, the div with the class name menu. Now, inside the UL, we are going to create another element called LI, list. We'll put LI. Select the snippet. Follow me carefully. Inside the LI, we are going to create another element called a anchor tag, which is for hyperlink. Just type A inside it and select the snippet. The UL is housing the LI, the list, while the list is housing the anchor tag, which is the hyperlink. In this anchor link, the href, you will see the hash with yellow and the hash with white. The one with yellow color is coming from the ref, the h reference, the reference where you want to reference your page to. While the white one is the menu that will display. For now, let's keep the href as it is with that hash. We don't want to reference it to any place for now. So I'll come here and change the white hashtag. I will use something like home. Type home. Then we come back. Let's preview to see what we have so far. Now you can see our page is coming up gradually. You can see the cosec. Now you will see the home coming. Don't bother the way it's looking. We will get there. I come back again to the code. Because I said we're going to have a 4-page website, I have gotten the home page. So let me also create another list with anchor tag. Come down here and type another LI. Select it. Select A, the anchor tag. Then also change only the white side of it. We use this one, we'll call it about. About. We minimize, do it again. Come down, LI, A for anchor tag. Change this one to services. Services. Then we do the last one, which is going to be contacts. The same process. LI, choose it. A, then edit only the white section. We call this one contact. So let's check what we have in the browser. Okay, good. We now have a code sec as our logo, home, about, services, and contact pages, which is going to be the 4 pages of this website. Let's continue. We are going to introduce CSS in this project now. Let's go back to our code. To keep things organized and simple, we are going to keep our CSS in a separate file. And to do that, the first thing we are going to do is to first of all create a file for our styling, because it's through our styling that we are going to make our page look very beautiful. Open the menu, select your project folder, my web in my own case. Then on the same 3 dots, tap, click on new file. In this time, type style.css, style.css. Then okay. When you open this folder, you will see the file we just created with CSS extension. You will see the difference in the logo. HTML, like I said earlier on, is the structure of every website, while the CSS, which stands for Cascading Style Sheet, is the painting, what brings the beauty of every web application or website. If we open the CSS file, you will see that it is an empty file. The next thing I want to do is to link our CSS file with our HTML code. Go to your index.html. Watch carefully. Under the head section, immediately after title, click and come to the next line. Type the word link to link your pages. Click on LI. Before you finish typing it, this snippet will show up. Use the one with comments. Say this one. Come inside this place. Type the name of your site sheet, which is style.css. Don't make any mistake in your spelling. Otherwise, the browser will not recognize that this style sheet is for this particular HTML document. So type it correctly. Style. Let me bring it up. Style. That's pop up the part. Just choose it. So far, we have linked HTML page with our CSS. We have linked these 2 files together, which means we are going to be keeping our styles separately inside the CSS page, while our codings will be inside the HTML files. This is a very good practice. If you go back to the browser, nothing has really changed. Now let's begin to organize things one after the other. Let's handle the head section first, because we use the same head section in every other pages. Now if you watch, we have the body section. We now have a container that is containing everything, housing everything. We now have nav. The nav is for our menu. That's why we created this nav, to be our nav bar. So this our nav bar is what we're going to target for now. Currently, we only have 2 elements inside this nav bar, which are this first div that started from line 15 and end at line 17, housing H1, and the second div which started at line 18, run through line 26. That is the second div. So we have only 2 elements here. Have that in mind. So let's go to CSS and tell the CSS how we want our nav to display. open the CSS file. I want to give some come down. I want to reserve some lines because we'll come back to that later. So let's start from the nav. Just come here and type nav. To style your nav, you use the curly braces, not parentheses. Type your nav and code this curly braces. This simply means that any command we put inside this nav only run for the nav. So the first CSS code we're going to write today is going to be display, how we want our nav to display. So type display. I want the nav to display flex. As we are coding, you'll be understanding these things and become familiar with them gradually. Flex. Each one I code, I will refresh the page so that you understand what these codes mean. Let me bring this one down to make it look organized. The first attribute is display, which is flex. So let me go to the browser and see what we have. Now for using that, the arrangement has changed now to flex. Let's still continue. So I will give another attribute which we call justify content. Space, we have space around, we have space in between. Remember to put this, let's call it this semicolon. Okay, let's see what this display will give us. So we have spaced them in between. Next thing we are going to do is to add another attribute. Justify items. Let's make it center. This will not show you anything for now, many for now. So even if you check the browser, you will not notice it well for now. But while we continue arranging them, you will understand them well. So back to our code. This is what we have gotten so far. Now, for you to understand how this nav is actually working, let's give this nav, let's give it a background color for the whole nav. Background. For the background, let's use navy. Let's use navy. Then check out your page. So this is what I'm getting now. Don't bother about the white space. We will also come to that. So all these sections with the navy color is the nav area. See, this is nav. This is the whole of the nav. Now let's deal with the white space at once so that our page will begin to look more beautiful. Remember, from our HTML, nav is inside a container. So we are going to arrange this container, show this container how to display. To do that, we are going to call the container what is spelling, so don't make mistake. You can also copy. You can copy it. Double click, copy, come to your style of CSS. Now nav is under the container. So let me come here and paste it on top. This paste. Now, because container is a class, before you create a class in CSS, you must start it with dot. So we're going to type dot before the container, dot container. Then put your curly braces to give it attributes how you want it to run. First thing we are going to do is margin. margin of 0, padding of 0. Just type exactly what I'm typing. The more you code them, you will understand them gradually. Padding of 0. So let's see what that will give us on our page. Nothing much, because the container is inside the body. So let's call the body also. Give the body we call the body, and give the body padding and margin. Padding of 0, margin of 0. So let's see what we have. Now the body has closed everything, so there's no margin in between again. That's why we are seeing those white background, but now they are all gone. Our page is looking more beautiful now. So before we proceed, let's quickly fix this our nav very well. To fix our nav, let's go back to our HTML to understand the structure, how everything works. If you also watch very well, both the div with logo class and the div with menu class has shared this screen. They have shared the screen into two. But the screen is not still looking very beautiful because the error is coming from one side. So which should be the menu. So let's work on the menu div. The menu div has so many things inside. So we need to handle them. To do that, mind the spelling, I use MOENU. I come back to my style of CSS. We have our body. So let's just, after the nav, I come down. Because that is also a class, I use dot menu. Put your curly braces. Then inside it, we are going to give it also display. How we want it to display also. Display. Let's also use flex. And leave it for now. Flex. Leave it that way for now. And see what we have. There will not be more change. Yes, there will not be more change. Now this is the display flex. Then next we are going to target is this. Let's leave this one for now. We'll still come back to it. Let's leave it for now. Go back to your HTML. Let's target the UL. The UL is housing all these children. The LI. So let's go to UL. CSS. We come to UL. UL. Add your curly braces as usual. Then display it. I like using flex for some reasons. Display. Let's also use flex. So let's watch what we have on the browser. Display flex. Now you can see gradually taking shape. The next we are going to target is we need to remove all these dots. and the lines, but the dots are coming from the list. So let's target the list first and make them they are too close to each other. So these are the lists inside the UL. So let's target the list. So we can also give our font size here. Let's give a font size from universal font size to all of them here. Can give it a font size. Yes. Font size. Let's make it. Let's use 18 is not bad. Let's use 18. Okay, let's use 18. 18 is okay. Then let's target the LI this time around. We go to UL, LI. The UL, the LI inside UL. Bring your calibrations also. First of all, list style. Let's make it none. We don't want anything to be there. This is none. Preview your page. Those dots will disappear because those are the lists. We don't want the list to have a style. We remove them. We give another attribute. Margin right. Let's give it 9 pixels away from each other. 9 pixels. Okay. Let's preview it. Now they've given each other space from the right. Next we're going to target is the A, the anchor tags. Because we'll be having so many A's in this lesson, I would call this A through the normal way up. Nav space UL or even A. Nav can answer A without passing through UL and LI. Nav A. The anchor link inside the nav is what the browser will look up for. So we can give color. First of all, the color. Color of white. Let's confirm it. Wow, our nav anchor links now are all in white. Then they have this line. We need to remove it also. To remove these lines, you use what we call text decoration. We can give it none. We don't want any text decoration, so none. Now, no more text decoration. But when you click on them, they don't open for now, so don't bother because we've not referenced them. So our nav bar is almost getting ready. Let's design our logo a little bit. The same way we have designed this one. But let's go to our logo side. From the HTML page, you can see our logo. So let's call the logo H1. CSS, go there. You can call it here. Dot logo. Logo, the H1 of the logo. Give your calibrations. Then let's give it a font size. Font size should be something like 30. I use 36, 36, 36 pixels. Observe. So still too big. I want it to reduce. So let's reduce the code to 26. Yeah, it has reduced a bit. Now let's change the color. Think orange will still be there. Good. Yeah, let me use yellow. Color. Color we use column. Okay. Yellow. Color yellow. Let's preview it and see. Okay. Now we have a beautiful navbar now. So the next thing we're going to go is to start the body section. In the next lesson, we will continue from the body section. Please don't forget to subscribe this channel and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our lessons. See you in the next lesson.